creating chances, we should probably be quite comfortable in the game. That's a disappointing thing, but the most important thing from our point of view is we're creating the chances. So if we can continue to do that, if we can stick one or two of them away, then all good. But you know, we need to be a little bit more ruthless in our last pass and also with decision making when we get into the box. If we can get that right, then I think there's goals to come.
And Steve, on the other side of the ball, Markel Susaeta, did he feature in your address to your players at halftime?
Yeah, well, we know if you're giving players of that quality, time and space on the ball, they can hurt you. So we need to make sure that we can continue to press, get their heads down and don't let them play forward passes.
Happy with Big Rudy so far?
Yeah, as I've always said, with Rudy, he's a threat. You know, if we can play off him and we can get him in the box, he's unfortunate not to already have another goal or two.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate your time. And Rudy just says doing Ramadan at the moment, so it's not an easy equation for anyone sunrise to sundown making the sacrifice, but Rudy will see how long he lasts out there. Macarthur have had a rose ceremony at half-time. Lachlan gone, Liam on. That's the one sub for Ante Milicic. Let's see who starts with a bit of gusto. Tries to zip the ball around to start this second half. Back to Federici from Shushnia. Milligan. Get down to Archie Thompson, and it's no surprise to learn. Archie is just calibrating there at halftime, getting the messages from either bench, so we'll get to him in a moment. It's Macarthur. It's exactly a lightning start in possession to this second half. Very careful with the ball, while looking to break a line or two with a bit of skill. That's positive stuff. That's some positive stuff from the young man. And out through Susaeta. Ging back to Benyat. Proxim's there. And Ryan listens to his teammate and his goalkeeper Acton by just sending the ball away. Gone back to a back three now. It looks like perhaps Macarthur. Liam Rose out there, and McGing's the one to push up as a wing back, and Meredith on this side.
Yeah, well, let's see what sort of position Liam Rose takes up in possession now, feeding McGing. How they settle down again.
Lawton and Ryan. Butterfield, you want to be careful. Beats two, doesn't beat three. Benyat, here's Meredith. All the way over to Susaeta. Got a little tickle on that, but keeping it in was McGing. Susaeta balanced on the ball. Butterfield blocks it. Lawton heaves it away. Bounces off the big frame of Gested, who tries to rectify his mistake, but instead it's Macarthur in comfortable possession again. Meredith. Wow, feeling he was caught by Bremer. The eyes of Chris Beath. Cruz rides a challenge from Shushnia. Gested's trying to stay on side and can't, and Kamsoba was the only other option for Robbie. What Macarthur do here. Martis just takes off. Positive run through the legs of Butterfield. Remarkably so. Now they'll go back and perhaps try to go out the other way through Susaeta, who cuts a beautiful ball out to Meredith. Liam Rose. Space available, so he takes it. Chopped out. Brooks can come away for victory. Broxham continue to run. Just adds the option through the middle. It's a fine idea from Broxham. Kamsoba's got it. He'll have another go. Elvis. They're asking for a corner. They're not getting it. I was waiting for Chris Beath to make a final call. He was looking at the linesman, the assistant, and in the end, Federici's got it for a goal kick, and he quickly takes it before they change their mind.
As incredulous was Elvis. I thought before he took the shot, he might have had a quick look and seen that it was just dead on or about the penalty spot with 2 defenders. It's still worth a go, standing it up to him.
It's down to Archie now, who's resumed his seat. And the advice that Mark Milligan gave, Rudy just said in that first half, Archie was, well, we picked it up when it actually happened. As Macarthur get a free kick. What did you make of it all? Is it typical Mark Milligan to hand out advice like that?
Well, I actually asked Mark Milligan, is there any questions you want me to ask him? And, you know, Rudy just happened to walk by his eye line, and I think that's when, obviously, you know, you have a bit of banter. And I did ask him, yeah, well, I can ask you that question because you're live on TV. But, look, I think that's just what happens sometimes when you're in the moment. But look, for the message coming from Macarthur's box is that they just want them to be a little bit more calmer on the ball when they break that press.
Here's Benyat's free kick. It's a good one. It has a number of Macarthur players interested. Derbyshire just couldn't get around the ball to get a reverse header on. Keep going, Arch.
Yeah, sorry. When they have that ball, just to be a little bit more calm on it, to break that first press, and that's when they can start to lift the ball tempo. But they don't want to get in too much of a running race where they're quite stretched, because that plays into Melbourne Victory's hands when you look at the speed of Robbie Cruz, Elvis Kamsoba and Leighton Brooks. So yeah, that's one message that they're obviously stressing to their players.
Difficult to break the first line when Melbourne Victory are so deep like they were right there. It'll fall for them here. Macarthur out to McGing. He'll do well to keep this in. He does very well, and Derbyshire was there. Acton got in the way.
He's going so well, Mombois. He broke the ice on his own career with a goal a couple of weeks back, and he's really not looked back since. He's been outstanding. He's got a great turn of speed, nice angled runs, very comfortable on the ball. Great and keen attacking instincts. Milicic seems to be bringing him on and including him in the team really nicely.
Benyat, the corner ends up in the back of the net. And it's McGing. Jake McGing with his first goal for the club, and it has silenced Amy Park. What a mess for Victory.
Well, players are all marked. There's a good crowd of Victory players. And then McGing reacts, but I'm not sure that it's going to stand. The Victory players all turned and appealed for handball immediately. Somewhere.
Yeah.
There off Meredith, is it?
Yep, and it's going to be ruled out, because anything like that that leads to a goal, immediately get the pen out and put a line through it. That's what it's there for. Quick adjudication. Chris Beath called over immediately. He made the decision, no goal. Butterfield, reprieve for Victory. Kamsoba, stopped by Rose. Kamsoba. Back out to Broxham. Brooks. Neat feet from Brooks. And I was just about to say, the nearest player or teammate he had. Before that, there were 3 Macarthur defenders to try and negotiate Brooks. He only went one-on-one and got a really clever cross into the box. But here's Brimmer to do the same, perhaps. Playing in Cruz to the byline. Shushnya's there. Corner.
He's there that time, but there was no Macarthur player to cut out that ball at the first post or the edge of the 6-yard box as it was delivered in by Leighton Brooks. No chance for victory. 2 good sights at goal within the last minute.
Brimmer. Tussle between Ansell and Meredith there. McGing. 30 seconds there, a goal scorer in this game. And just on that, just that confirmation that next season there's a twist in the rules. That is a goal next season. IFAB have changed their mind on inadvertent handballs that lead to goals. So if it goes from one player to another off an accidental handball, then that will be considered a fair goal. IFAB changing the change after changing the change and making a change to the change. Making it crystal clear for all of us. Here's Benyat. Meredith. That's a good block from Lee Broxham. Mark Milligan to Rose. Susaeta. Milligan. Benya, big pocket of space. Top of the box. Likes to go all the way back out to Meredith. Acton stretching. It was just over McGing's head. Benyat. Gets it back again, the Spaniard. No foul the request, no foul given, but Benyat in turn gives away a foul. You seeing enough from Macarthur to start the second half, Harps?
Not at the moment. They're not looking in particular peril, although Victory have had a couple of good sights at goal. But I just feel they need to make the most of the space they get in midfield. They just could do with doing things a little bit quicker without being hasty. And listening to Steve Keane as he discussed with us at half-time what was going through his mind and what he communicated to his team was to make sure that the Victory players were forcing the Macarthur players to get their head down so they couldn't see to pass. Not really translating onto the pitch. As we watch and Macarthur build the ball up into the Victory half and around their penalty area, they've got so much time to receive, look and pass the ball. They'll be expecting of themselves to make more of that. I am.
First meeting between these two clubs. Everyone else has played each other twice, oddly enough. Or Macarthur have played everyone twice, I should say. To get to wait until now. They won't have to wait long until their next meeting. It's in 8 days' time up in Sydney. Shushnia. Meredith. Martis. The forward runners there, but picks out McGing. Benyat into feet. Derbyshire. Susaeta wasn't reading his mind there, but it was his little idea.
Yeah, and again, that's the point. In the Victory midfield, whoever was there, closing the Macarthur players down, they've got so much time. And I think part of their problem is they're taking that time. They need to force it a little bit quicker because they're not under much pressure in possession.
Two seagulls just slammed into each other right there. You don't see that every day. Here's Broxham. Cruz. Cam Sober against McGing. Not sure what he saw there. Elvis didn't quite come off. Brimmer puts the foot down. Milligan nonchalantly puts his foot in front of it. Butterfield, neat play, out to Brooks. Smashes it into James Meredith, who had no idea where it ended up. Here's Martis bringing it out for Macarthur and winning a foul. Down to Archie Thompson. What's happening down there, Arch?
Look, I think with Melbourne Victory, especially when they get into these wide areas, you're just seeing the ball swung in with a lot of pace. I'd be thinking if I was a striker or a player out wide, I'd be trying to just to loft the ball into an area where Just Ed could maybe get that one-on-one duel where he's so strong in the air and he can attack it. At the moment, these players are getting in these positions, but they're whipping it way too hard. And what Andy Harper said, for Macarthur, once they break that first press and they're in Melbourne Victory's half, because they're afforded so much time, it's the quicker, it's the movement of the ball, it's the intensity. That's when they start to pick out players and open up gaps. At the moment, just not finding that tempo that's needed.
Michael Roos at the bottom of the screen. A powerful player for Macarthur, about to make his entrance to Amy Park. Cruz does well. Cam Sober, good touch, really positive. Chance here for Victory. Elvis for another one. Justed plays in Brooks. He elects to go along the ground, and just what Archie Thompson was talking about, Andy Harper.
Oh, it's a horrible decision from Brooks. Mind you, Justed didn't give him the pass that he might have. Maybe that was because he wanted Leighton to chip the ball into him. But Rose caught with the ball in behind. Elvis, it bounces fortuitously. That's got too much meat on it. But from here, Leighton Brooks has to even take a touch and just get the little pitching wedge, a la Corey Brown last night, to put Danzaki through.
Brimmer nearly finds Justed. And at the fast tick was the goal-scoring machine at the back for Melbourne Victory, and Dylan Ryan, who put it over.
Sorry, Adam, this is the evidence of why Leighton Brooks should have just stood the ball up on the 6-yard box. Victory might have got their goal then. They came close on that occasion.
Ryan looking for his third goal of the season there. Almost had it. Monbois loses his footing. Players jumping over each other to try and get to the ball. Eventually it falls to Brooks. Broxham releases Cruz. Shush now trying to keep up. Early ball from Robbie Cruz. Justed wasn't quite there. And Benyat can carry away for Macarthur. Burst there from Martis to get away from would-be trouble for Macarthur FC. Over an hour in now, 1-1. This isn't enough to budge Macarthur anywhere on the ladder, but does open up the possibility for two teams playing on Saturday against each other to jump into the 6. Western United and Western Sydney Wanderers on 28, camped outside the top 6 at the moment. Macarthur on 29, Brisbane on 30. Macarthur's goal difference nowhere near what Brisbane's is. Goal differential of 12 between the two. Susayeta, his delightful ball meets the head of Ryan. Unfortunate for Melbourne Victory in a sense, because there was 3 Victory players all around Dylan Ryan there. So a triple threat from Ante Milicic, more than a threat. 3 substitutions coming on. So Moody Najjar, young attacking player. Jake Holman, creative player. Michael Roos, another attacking player. The changes are plenty for Macarthur. Monbois, his night is done. Another impressive showing. Jake McGing. And Mikel Susaeta, you imagine with the groin problems that he's had over the last 5 games, the Spaniard, it's very much a physical monitoring situation, which is the reason why he has come off, not for a lack of ability and what he's meant to his side so far tonight. So it's up to the youngsters to get the win for Macarthur.
Yeah, there's some talent. It's just entered the fray for Macarthur.
Yes, that's correct. That's their first.
Leighton Brooks was about to be substituted for another young attacking player in Laurie Latanzio.
There's another one coming.
But instead, it looks like Jay Barnett. You can't miss him. Jay, very impressive Barnett. And yeah, Lawton, his night is done. That's unfortunate because he's played well at that.
Had a good game. Had a really good game. Injury will be a setback. Shouldn't expect him to be available for the next game, which is unfortunate for Heat.
Laurie Latanzio with the Costa Zoo happening. The day of an announcement of his son, another fight, July 7. Tim Zoo up against Michael Zarafa. That will be a humdinger on main event. Laurie Latanzio, we've seen his talent so far this year. And he'll have another man who's new to the fray behind him in Barnett playing at right back. So it's like Broxman's had to go over to left back again, Mr. Dependable. Not a lot of depth in wide defensive areas for Melbourne Victory at the moment. No Storm Rue, Adama Traore. We're still waiting to find out, Adama, what the go is.
Bit of a drawn-out process that's become.
Well, he was going to serve definitely 3 anyway, so that's why they haven't rushed it. But they need to know and need to know soon, unless something's broken in the last hour or two. So need to know if he can play in Perth on Sunday. Holman, his first involvement is to win a foul. Brimmer shouldering him out the way. So is it going to be one of these young players for Macarthur FC? Pull something out for them. Rudy Najjar on loan from Melbourne City. Jake Holman brought across from Sydney FC. Michael Roos, who upbringing through Sydney United, Sydney Croatia. Former Joey as well. 3 players of real talent. Here's Meredith. Najjar. This cross negotiates the Seagulls and also finds Melbourne Victory defender. It's only as far as Shushniar though, so it's going to come back for Macarthur. Benyat. Martis. Meredith winning a corner. It's almost like they know that Benyat's not going to shoot.
And I was just going through my mind, obviously, at the same time as yours. And every now and again, it is worth having a pop just to drag defenders out. So much time in that part of the field to actually exercise that option.
Benyat's ball, it's a good one. It's a very good one. James Meredith. This one will count. No hands involved. 2-1. Again, Victory fall down at set pieces. It's their 11th goal conceded from a corner.
There's a little bit of justice here for Meredith. It was his inadvertent handball which ruled out the last goal. And he leaps high this time and angles the ball down and past Matt Acton, who can't even get an effort on it. He's so beaten by the angle of the header. Off the post and in for 2-1. Meredith worked hard tonight. And he's contributed well this season. Deserves the goal.
Had someone on the near post, Jay Barnett. No one on the far post. And James Meredith takes advantage. Big, big goal for Macarthur FC. and the teams around them, Adelaide, Brisbane, Sydney, Western United, Western Sydney Wanderers. One goal in this competition at the moment as we reach the end of the season. The value continues to skyrocket like Bitcoin. Up and up and up it goes. Nothing cryptic about how Melbourne Victory handle things defensively, though, at the moment. That's their 50th goal conceded this season. And 11th. Repeat, 11th from a corner. Now they're in control, Macarthur. How do they manage being in control of not only the game and possession, but the scoreboard, Harps?
Well, I think they're good front runners, particularly against their opponents tonight, whose standoffish approach, defending a block and make sure you don't get, we get numbers behind the ball, it is not conducive to actually trying to knock Macarthur off their stride. At some point on this scoreline, Victory are going to have to untether themselves and start to press around the field to win the ball.
Benyat. Roos on one side, the far side making a run, but there's too many Victory bodies there for the liking of the Spaniards, so he goes back to Martis and they'll just calm things down, Macarthur. Benyat. No one within 10 metres of him in a navy blue shirt. Holman, the run-up, control it cleanly. Butterfield. Sober. Cruz was in behind there, but Elvis couldn't find him, and somehow he retains possession. And Cruz gets another crack for a forward run. He shoves Liam Rose out the way. He's won a corner, though.
Well, I'm not exactly sure how Elvis got out of that.
He's like a...
But he left two in his wake.
He's like a contortionist.
Anyway, good chance for Victory. They are a chance from set pieces with Rudy Justed. Will be heavily patrolled, the Victory number 9.
Rimmer's corner. Cruz did pretty well to get a little bit on it, and he's won his team another corner. I mean, I mentioned defensively they've had their issues, but they have scored 6 from corners this season, which is also league best. Melbourne Victory. Rudy Justed. Shushnio would want to be really careful because there's a lot of arms in his defensive.
Chris beats onto it. It's pretty ridiculous, actually. And it's in Shushnio's defence. It is what you're told to do and what you have to do, but the referee's saying just watch it because you're going to oblige me to blow for a foul.
Oh, Rudy nearly got on the end of it. Almost ducked under it. Here's Brimmer again. Deflected, attacking it. Here's Derbyshire like he was at the other end right there, the striker. Butterfield. It was a good ball. Justed. And Liam Rose, the most timely of interventions for Macarthur. When he chests it down, it does have to fall further than the ordinary player.
It's a beaut ball over the top. Rose did well. Nice control from Justed. Not much more he could do there. Tried to tee it up for himself. Achieved that. Rose reached in and knocked the ball clear. Martis. Again, that area of the pitch is not covered defensively for
Melbourne Victory, and allowing Macarthur to do just that, set themselves in the opposition half. Then Archie Thompson, what's the messaging like from the Melbourne Victory bench at the moment, Arch?
No, just a lot of pressure on the ball and don't give them too much time. And when you do get the ball, go forward as quick as possible and get yourself in the goal-scoring positions.
Derbyshire, right idea, nearly to Holman. Keep going, Arch.
Is the main sort of messages coming from their bench, but if I was the boss of Macarthur, I'd be looking to attack this left-sided or the right-sided of Melbourne Victory, especially with Jay Barnett, who's not known for that position, not experienced. I can see sometimes when the ball gets moved in and around, especially in that front third, they seem to be caught out of place or positioning a lot. So I'd like to probably see more of the play come out this side.
Trying to go through the middle right now. Barnett, aforementioned, gives it away again, but Brimmer will come back and clean up. Derbyshire goes in. Little nick on Jake Brimmer. Chris Beath is understanding that Derbyshire, there was no malice in that one. Or not, hang on, he's calling him over after class has been dismissed. Just a little chat. Ryan. Elvis. Someone had got him from the top deck there.
He's had a couple of goes at him now. He's collected Elvis here, ref's blown it up for a foul, but it was Liam Rose who went through like a bowling ball at the pins. Elvis managed to skip away. You'll recall the incident a couple of minutes ago. It was like he's just zeroing in on Elvis to make sure he can't settle on the ball.
Not off the kiddie ramp either, off a big unit who wants to send it down. Here's Laurie Latanzio trying to bring it down. He's caught Meredith. Left back has stayed down for Macarthur, but Latanzio sniffing about there. He's a lively character. Saw him playing a NYL grand final last season. Melbourne Victory got battered by Sydney. Jake Holman was actually playing one of the players for Sydney, but this young man was the absolute standout for Melbourne Victory on that occasion. And he can zip about and cause a bit of havoc. It's better for Victory trying to win it high up, but still allows Macarthur to win the ball. And with no real rush, as you can tell. They're going to have to take a few risks, you'd imagine, Melbourne Victory defensively as this game goes on, because if Macarthur are allowed to just pass the ball around, they'll take the opportunity with glee. Federici goes long. Good defending from Ansell over the top. Derbyshire. Brimmer gives the ball away. He's had a few cracks at Benyat there. Can't stop the movement. Holman showed too much of it to Ryan. Rose again through the back of Elvis Kamsoba.
Yeah, and this is another foul. Rose on Kamsoba. This is the ridiculousness of the bureaucrats in the bubble. Again, Jake Brimmer had 4, 5, 6 grabs at Benyat, but because Benyat decided to play on and try and take the advantage, Jake Brimmer gets away with it. Any player in that position shouldn't get away with it. Play the advantage, come back and give a yellow card for denying a clear opportunity to attack.
Thanks for pulling my shirt as well while you're illustrating that.
Well, I had to get it out of the system, Adam, you understand.
I just washed it as well. The fibres are nice and tight. Now I'm going to have to chuck it in the wash again. Anyway, I get your point though. It's It's one of those brainiac moves from IFAB again. Anyway, the game goes on. 2-1 Macarthur, looking for the third. Roos can't get past Broxham. Cruz, there's the shirt tug. He stops, so he stops, and then induces the yellow card from the pocket of Chris Beath.
Nice turn from Robbie Cruz.
Barnett, Jar, 2 14s out there. Well done by the man from Macarthur, but Brimmer, he'll have a crack. He's hit it nice, and Federici does really well. I thought he got a little touch on that, but he had it covered if it was going under the crossbar.
Yeah, I think that's the point. He never looked really troubled. Would have been a bit of a scramble if Jake got a bit of angle on this. He's such a clean striker of the ball, though. Federici had it all lined up.
Well covered. And like the free kick where he was beaten from the same player in that first half. Ryan does well. Justed moves it on to Cruz. How many of these chances are Victory going to get? Robbie Cruz, 1-on-1 with Meredith. Comes back with the left. His brain was moving quicker than his feet right there. Justed knocks it down, but Martis is there for that knockdown, and Macarthur can get it away. Barnett inside to Cruz. To Butterfield, who can hit him. A left foot strike there. Now to Latanzio. Good ball from Butterfield. No comment. Another one goes down. Holman need to hold that up for Macarthur. Pressure's going to stay on here for Victory. Brimmer picks out Justed beautifully. Justed, oh, what a save from Federici. Just stuck a paw out. And the little flick from Rudy met the paw. Here's Cruz with another chance. Shoved in the back, perhaps, by Najjar. Chris Beath thinking about it. Butterfield goes wide. They want another look at it. Melbourne Victory are pleading for another look at it.
There's a couple of interesting moments in this. Firstly, Rudy Justed versus Mark Milligan. Justed wins, and Federici saved brilliantly. And then the penalty incident, possibly. Cruz through, ball bouncing around, all bets are off. I don't know that they're going to award that. Robbie looked like he was slightly off balance anyway.
The main part of the contact looked to be Robbie Cruz and his left hand on Najjar, who was trying valiantly, but not exactly all parts of his body in rhythm with each other. He was a bit all over the shop, Moody, but yeah, let's play on. Decision from Chris Beath upheld on the pitch. Brimmer's corner, met by Derbyshire again. Important defensive header from the striker. Barnett wants to send it back out to Brimmer, but can't, so Butterfield will get it across to Broxham. Rudy, the traffic cop, directing where the ball should come from. Kamsoba. Justed waiting with 3 others from Melbourne Victory. Justed attacking it. Nick Ansell did well to not get in the way. Holman, can he hold it up this time? Nope, gives away possession again, so pressure intensifies from Melbourne Victory, and Butterfield is tripped up.
It's a nervous moment, this, or a nervous period for Macarthur, I should say. Slenderest of leads. Victory with some pressure building. Federici having to save them already in recent times.
Get down to Archie in a moment to see how many kittens have been produced on the Macarthur bench as we go through Brimmer. Header. Brimmer. Better looking ball. Shushnia that time. Butterfield. Kamsoba's off on a run. Liam Rose does really well to read exactly what was going down there, and Holman this time was not convincing. I reckon they'll still maintain possession, Macarthur. I'd Another throw in just to relieve a bit of pressure because it's all coming from the home side at the moment. It was loose from Barnett when it really didn't need to be. Archie Thompson. How's that Macarthur bench right there? We can see Ante Milicic from up here. He's going off his brain at Jake Holman. It's not comfortable at all.
Certainly isn't. I tell you what, probably the last 5 minutes been up and down off his chair. He's just a bit frustrated with his team. Once they do get hold of possessions, which they haven't been able to do, they just give it away softly. He was really disappointed with Jake Holman there because there's a few times it was quite sloppy. But I tell you what, the intensity now, you can start to feel it in the atmosphere.
Justed literally brought it down on his head, on top of his head. Came down with him, but he's adjudged to give away the foul. Was there much in that one, Harps, on first viewing?
I didn't think so. Robbie Cruz didn't think so either, and probably expressed the view too forcefully.
Contact from both?
Yeah, and he's probably guilty of reaching in a little bit with his right arm, but the fact everything he does is amplified because of his size, and it's not his fault. He shouldn't be punished for being a big man. And indeed, because he's so big, here's the chance. Great save. He's done really well to control it. It's so difficult. Mark Milligan, very grateful to his goalkeeper that he saved that. I mean, because of Jested's size, he comes in for enormous treatment from set pieces, as we've seen. Very difficult, but that's okay. Referees show enormous patience for defenders defending big men, not so much patience for big men using their size.
Does well there with the nutmeg, and Derbyshire gets it out to Benyat. Bruce, we're looking cross, and Acton had to be sure there. I don't think he got anything on it. There was someone lurking at the back stick there for Macarthur, so their best moment in quite some time. Feels like about half an hour almost. I'm sure it's not that period of time, but the amount of pressure coming from the home side, which has got the North Terrace interested. Stead does well. Cruz. It's in dispute here. Cam sober for once. Doesn't cop a knock from Liam Rose. He's back. Broxham looking to get around Benyat. No foul. We've seen it time and time again in the A-League this season that as we approach the final 5 or so minutes, with the results still in dispute, something mad happens. Something out there. Is this the moment for Macarthur? We're going to see a brilliant goal from Martis. No, he gives it out to Derbyshire. His cross almost finds the jar, but Acton is down smartly.
And Holman free on the back post. Now Mehdi Dejar's having to put the big ones in. And Victory got much left in the tank as they break through the field. And they drop anchor and let Macarthur recover.
Enough distance between himself and Broxham to get around him. Elvis, this is not a fair fight. But the featherweight beats the heavyweight. Butterfield. Urgency from Victory. Barnett wants some width in front of him. Latanzio. Overload on this side, 4-on-3 if they want Victory to exploit. Barnett looking for Justed, who has close attention paid by Rose and Milligan, but they win another corner.
Clever from Laurie Latanzio. Now, all the corners in this second half, by my recollection, Adam, have been hit for the near post for a touch on, a flick on. I wonder if we'll get a variation here and if they can try and get some elevation and invite Rudy to attack the ball.
Attacking the ball is Ansell. There wasn't much behind it. Federici was able to position himself crucially, stop the ball from going into the back of the net. Cruz on the way through. Federici is smartly off his line. Hopefully Robbie hasn't hurt himself. Shared a few Socceroos camps, those two. This is an ultra important period of time added on for Macarthur FC because they've played the most games. This will be 21 for the season. First club to play 21 games for the season. It'll put them up to equal second. Third on goal difference behind Central Coast Mariners on 32 points. So not a good night for Sydney FC, not a good night for Adelaide, not a good night for Brisbane. Certainly not for the two teams just outside. That's lovely stuff from Holman that time. The shot doesn't have much behind it, and Acton can spring to life and get Melbourne Victory going forward for one last thrust. Ansell. Butterfield. Looking for Justad, who brings it down to Robbie Cruz. He hit it nicely, but straight into Milligan. Cam Sober. Looking for Cruz again. Gee, hit that clean, Robbie Cruz. Barnett. Butterfield. Oh, that's a tired-looking movement from the midfielder of Melbourne Victory, and Derbyshire. The workhorse for Macarthur. He coughs it up. Brimmer. Justad. Rose. Sent it up. And lovely touch to bring it down and wins the foul.
Yeah, well done to Liam Rose.
Meredith. That's a nervous-looking coach right there. That gum has surely expired taste. Has just been left in there to settle some nerves. It's helped somewhat by the fact that Dylan Ryan has badly skewed an attempted clearance, but they'll get away with it, Victory, and they can play out down the right here. Laurie Latanzio. Brimmer. Oh, it's a chance in behind for Robbie Cruz, but he was caught from behind Brimmer. This will set up a free kick opportunity. I wonder where this free kick is going to be aimed for, Harps.
Well, I don't think there's much of a doubt where it's going to go, but they've been appallingly inept at delivering the ball there, all half. Yellow card on Matt Derbyshire.
And again, they can't find the tall fella in the navy blue. Going up for it is Ansell, and it was, well, no one was really sure where it landed until Macarthur player got rid of it. Cam Sober sprints over, scatters the Seagulls. We're into the last minute here at Amy Park, and Macarthur going to get a goal kick in which they can take the majority of the time left off the clock. Federici smashes it clear of the danger area. Najjar, that's a huge header won by the young man, and Derbyshire, he's going to use all his experience here to take it right into the corner. Even the inexperienced one does it well. We're past the time added on, and we're past the point of no return for Melbourne Victory, getting something out of this one, and it's a big, big win for Macarthur FC. Up to equal second, third on goal difference, and their hopes of making the finals in their first ever season have received a massive boost in Melbourne tonight. Another night of disappointment for Victory in front of their home fans. They stay near the bottom of the ladder, and Newcastle, if they can somehow get a win over Sydney on Saturday, will get off the bottom of the ladder, and Victory will be back in 12th. But a man who once lifted a championship trophy as a Melbourne Victory player at this ground 6 years ago, he's a pretty happy chappy right now with his teammates. Macarthur FC have got the result they were after at Amy Park tonight. Full time, Melbourne Victory 1, Macarthur FC 2. And Andy Harper, your immediate assessment of that. How big for Macarthur?
Well, huge. And they've got Victory again, I think, in the run-in. So they'll be using this as they'll hope, as a trial run. When Victory had their moments, they'll be disappointed, actually, that Elvis didn't finish his great chance in the first half to double up the goal that he did score. But they do give opportunities, a lot of space for opponents to play, and there's some pretty good players in that Macarthur team, so really an expected result.
Let's get down to Archie Thompson to start the reaction.